Thank you for joining us for this Travis County Candidate Forum. We're focused specifically on environmental and sustainability issues today. We would like to thank the Vortex Theater and Butterfly Bar for their kind support in hosting this event, and to AIM Productions for recording the event for broadcast. Tonight's forum is produced by Texas Green Network and is also made possible by support from the Austin EcoNetwork, Seed Coalition, and Save Barton Creek Association. Travis County is unique in Texas in its being an area with a huge environmental consciousness, and we do expect a lot from as a baseline of awareness from our candidates. So we're looking for more than the obvious tonight, and we're looking for distinctions in our candidates' points of view. This evening we're joined by Andy Brown and Sarah Eckhardt, two county judge candidates. The questions have been provided by 9 Travis County area environmental organizations, and I think we'll be able to get to all 9. We almost did with 3 candidates in the previous segment, so we should have 9 represented. We'll give you 2 minutes for an introduction each, and 2 minutes for the closing statement, and then 1 minute each for responses to the questions.
All right, thank you all very much for coming tonight on Snowpocalypse Part 2 in Austin. My name's Andy Brown. I'm running for Travis County Judge because I think we need a long-term plan and vision at Travis County. I've got 20 years of experience of bringing people together here in Travis County to stand up for progressive causes like more health care, more open spaces, and more workers' rights, and I've gotten the job done. I grew up here in Austin. I went to McCallum High School. I went to UT Law School. I've been a litigator for the past 10 years. I represent small businesses, individuals, some Spanish-speaking families whose homes have been illegally foreclosed on. I also was chair of the Travis County Democratic Party for the past 5 years. And as people involved with the Democratic Party know, the chair position is one without a whole lot of real power. All the power and all the effectiveness that the county chair position has comes about by building consensus, by getting people to work together for a common cause. By standing up together and getting people to stand up together for progressive causes here in Austin. And I was able to do that very successfully, I think, in that we increased turnout for minority voters in East Austin by 18% in 2010. It's one of the things I'm most proud of. The county judge position is like mayor of the county. It's really a leadership position. You have to be able to bring people together to get anything done. It takes 3 votes on the commissioner's court to do just about anything. Some of the things that I want to work on as county judge include water conservation. I think we can do a lot more at Travis County for conserving water here than we have been doing. I think there's great examples out there of other cities like San Antonio and Denver that have great programs, and I think we need to follow their lead. I also think we need an ethics commission at Travis County. I think it's way past time for an ethics commission at Travis County. The year 2014 to not have lobbyist report, I think, is a big problem. I'd also look at more modern ways to work on the county budget. I hope you'll join Congressman Lloyd Doggett, Senator Watson, every Democratic elected official who's endorsed in this race, as well as the labor union that represents county employees in supporting my campaign. Thank you very much.
Okay, and Sarah.
I'm Sarah Eckhardt, and I'm running for Travis County Judge because we need leadership that has demonstrated the experience, the courage, and the commitment to put the needs of the many above the demands of the few. I'm a public servant, and I came up through the ranks of county government. I put all my chips down when I graduated from law school to become a public interest lawyer and to dedicate my time to Travis County. I believe that we get good government by putting policy above the politics of the moment and by valuing effectiveness and efficiency over patronage and partisanship. And we have some sweeping changes coming over the county that you all well know. We're running out of water. We are gridlocked and dependent on car travel. We have overlapping taxing jurisdictions that are reliant on a regressive property tax that are breaking people's backs. We need a county judge that is able to make the decisions on day one that are going to affect us for generations. I'm the only candidate in this race with a 15-year record of accomplishment in the public interest, including negotiating a $3.5 million settlement from developers in Hays County who polluted Hamilton Pool, declaring a moratorium on development until we passed the toughest groundwater regulations Travis County has ever had. And even before that, as an assistant county attorney, representing Travis County and Commissioner Davis's precinct in particular in keeping a sludge hauler with a criminal record of illegal dumping from continuing to dump sludge onto farms in eastern Travis County. I've also worked on curtailing the expansion of landfills along 290 East. And powerful interests are coming before the Commissioner's Court every Tuesday looking to keep their profits high and their taxes low. But with me as your Travis County judge, I will be representing you because I already have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. As I mentioned, the questions have been provided by 9 area environmental organizations, and in most cases you will see a correlation between the question and who they're coming from. This first one is a fairly general question, though, and it's provided by Austin EcoNetwork. Decisions in many areas of we'll start with you, Sarah, on this one. Decisions in many areas of Travis County governance can have unexpected environmental impact. What method of vetting ideas for their environmental soundness do or will you employ as a county judge?
We have a wonderful division called Transportation and Natural Resources. In its history, it basically was a road building apparatus. But over the last 6 years, we have worked very, very hard to build up the Transportation and Natural Resources Department to have the expertise and the relationships regionally to be able to vet every decision that we make from an environmental perspective, including preparing our Transportation and Natural Resources Office and our County Attorney's Office with a new Land Use Division for the inevitable lawsuit that will come when we refuse subdivision plats for the inability to provide water, or because of the urban wildland interface. We will have to start denying growth in certain areas of our community. And at that point, we will probably draw a lawsuit, and because we have built such a dynamite team, we will be able to withstand them.
Okay. Andy, do you want me to restate the question? Sure.
Yeah.
Decisions in many areas of Travis County governance can have unexpected environmental impact. What method of vetting ideas for their environmental soundness do or will you employ as a county judge?
Thanks. I think we need to think more outside of the box at Travis County. We have gone on for years and years using older methods in the county and the city for conserving water. I think it's time that we made conservation the key. We can look at one of the methods that I would use is look at what works in other cities. San Antonio uses a fraction of the per capita water usage that we have here in Austin and Travis County. Denver, Colorado in 2006 decided that they wanted to reduce their water usage by 22% by the year 2016, and they embarked on a PR campaign to do just that. They've already, up to 2011, they've reduced it by about 20% of the water usage that they had been using. They used such innovative techniques as putting signs on buses, putting up billboards, things that look like this, where it's the official dishwasher of the summer of 2013, and it's a picture of a dog. The official lawn care product of the summer of 2013, and it is a can of green spray paint. We need to think outside the box, and we need to conserve more water here in Travis County.
Okay, so the next question is going to be provided by Sierra Club. We've got a transportation question for you, and I'm going to start with Andy on this one. TxDOT is preparing an EIS for proposed changes to Highway 290 at the Y in Oak Hill. Would you support including a non-tolled, non-elevated parkway alternative in the EIS? And what are your environmental metrics for evaluating proposed transportation solutions such as at the Y?
Yes, as the short answer, I would support that, absolutely. You know, the environmental metrics, I think you need to look at not just what the not what the physical road will cause, what problems that actual building the road would cause to environmental features, to underground features, to water quality, but you need to look at also what development would be a result of building that road. I think with Highway 45, we see a road that to me has not been shown that it really would solve any problem long term and would provide a lot of environmental problems. Basically, after some period of time, I think the road, if they did build Highway 45, would fill up again and we'd be back to square one. And so that's why, frankly, I'm opposed to it, is because of not only the environmental problems that building a road like that would cause, harming karst features, harming possibly Barton Springs because of runoff, But also you have to look at what the other harms would, or not harms, but other results could be of the road.
Okay, and Sarah?
Clarification, was that 45 Southwest or 290 East Wyatt Oak Hill you were asking
Wyatt
about?
Oak Hill.
Ah, okay. I absolutely support narrow contour, non-tolled parkway scenario being studied in the environmental. It would be far less impactful than what is currently planned, which is 12 lanes with a double-decker flyover at 71 and 290. That is a classic TxDOT single-occupant car solution. Would take out a tremendous number of heritage oaks. As I've said time and again, tolled infrastructure requires more concrete, therefore it's more expensive, therefore it's more environmentally damaging. What I would use and what I have used as the metric is, does this transportation facility improve our water quality and our air quality through its building, or does it not? Does it add to it? And I think that would add to it.
Okay. For the next question, we will start with Sarah, and this question was provided by the Sustainable Food Center on local farming. Local farming has been credited as a positive contributor to our culture, our environment, and our economy. What next steps would you support to help local organic farmers, especially in urban areas?
We have a robust organic farm movement that's going on inside the city of Austin, and that is tremendous. One thing that I actually made the motion and championed the creation of the Sustainable Food Policy Board, which is a partnership between the city and the county to look for ways to promote urban farming and organic farming, particularly in Travis County. One thing that we have worked on, and I would continue to work on, is being able to reduce the number of acreage that would be eligible for tax exemption. Because right now, I believe that the acreage limitations make it impossible for an urban farm on small plot to get the same advantages as larger farms in the unincorporated areas. And I think that would probably be the single biggest thing that the Travis County could do to help urbanize urban farming.
Okay. Would you like the question again, or?
Sure.
Okay. Local farming has been credited as a positive contributor to our culture, our environment, and our economy. What next steps would you support to help local organic farmers, especially in urban areas?
I think a big thing that the county can do to help is not get in the way. When the county needs to provide water for a park, for example, not drilling a well right next to a urban farm like Tecolote Farms that depletes their water supply would be a start. And if the county does do that, working with that farm to make sure that they can find new water and working with them to that solution would be a start. I think that instead of drilling wells for water in the county could look to a purple pipe program. The city has a purple pipe program. There's water available from it. I think that we could use that instead of the current policy, which is using fresh water. I think in general, the county can also work to make it a little bit easier for farms when they're trying to establish themselves to not to work with existing county regulations to see that if the farm clearly has I'll get back to you on the next question. Thanks, Roy.
Okay. And you guys will have a couple minutes at the end as well. We can extend that slightly depending partially on your time schedules. But okay, so the next question, we're going to start with Andy on this one, and it's provided to us by the Central Texas Zero Waste Alliance. And imagine what the subject might be. It's zero waste. So just recently, Travis County and the City of Austin signed an interlocal agreement to regionalize parts of Austin's zero waste plan. From the perspective of a county judge, what initiatives do you believe would be appropriate with the city and surrounding jurisdictions to fully regionalize zero waste?
I think the first thing the county can do is start working to make sure that everybody who lives inside of Travis County has access to single stream recycling, whether it's a house, whether it's a residence or a business. I think it's obviously very, very nice. I live inside the city limits. I have very easy access once every other week, I guess, to single stream recycling. I think we need to work to providing that same service to every county resident. Clearly, the county does not have that direct power, but again, using the bully pulpit of the county judge position of working to promote that idea, working with other entities to make sure that happens. I think that's one of the biggest things that we could do in this region.
Okay. And Sarah?
Andy and I don't differ on that question. As far as what our values are, the difference is I know how to accomplish it. One thing that we have worked with in Travis County, you can actually control and require single stream recycling if the county owns the dirt underneath the landfill. And we have been looking for the possibility we can create a monopoly in landfills within Travis County, and that's one thing that actually Melanie and I looked at when we were looking at the 290 East landfill expansions. It's a daring idea, and for instance, Travis County owned the property under which the multi-stream recycling facility that Balcones Resources has. At the time that we were negotiating with Balcones Resources, the Koch brothers interfered in that contract. Travis County sued the Koch brothers and won.
Okay. So for the next question, we're going to start with Sarah and then go to Andy. This question was provided by PODER, People Organized in Defense of Earth and Her Resources. And the question is, what will Travis County do to protect residents from future floods? And what is it doing to aid flood victims and natural resources such as Richard Moya Park?
Travis County is still the greatest natural disaster threat to Travis County, has always been and continues to be floods. We are flash flood alley in the nation. Even in the middle of a historic drought, the drought of record, we have flash floods that destroy property and lives. What we can do and what we are doing is developing programs for managing our floodwaters in ways that we weren't able to do 8 years ago. In many ways, we are reaping what we have sown in terrible lack of land use management in unincorporated areas. I am specifically prohibited from regulating density in the unincorporated areas. Impervious cover, I am prevented from regulating. That is slowly changing at the Texas legislature in recognition that these property rights provisions are killing people, quite literally.
Okay, and Andy?
Sure. First, I want to go back. I think you need to ask yourself why it is we don't have single stream recycling available to every house and business in Travis County in the current day. And my opponent has had 2 terms to work on that, and we don't have it today, whatever the reason is. As far as the flood, I think that we need to look at what has in particular caused the Dove Springs flood. I think it's upstream development. It's lack of impervious ground or pervious ground cover, I guess, has been a big contributor to that. And overall, I think the lack of land use authority at the county is obviously a big problem that I think we could use some of that land use authority to help prevent floods in the future. That's something that I would advocate for at the legislature, is trying to get more land use authority, not just in Travis County, but working with other urban counties around the state to get that same authority. I think that we could do better in terms of flood prevention here in Travis County.
Okay. So the next question is going to be provided by Environment Texas on the topic of fracking. And we'll start with, who did we start with just now, Sarah? So we'll start with Andy, of course. Okay, so in November, 2 drilling companies signed an agreement to frack 12 wells immediately east of Travis County in Lee and Bastrop counties in 2014. Due to loopholes in federal law, fracking is exempt from our nation's cornerstone environmental laws, raising fears of drinking water contamination and air pollution. How will you use your position at Travis County to advocate for stronger state and federal standards to protect Travis County from the effects of fracking?
Thanks. That's a great question. I'm happy that I've been endorsed by every Democratic elected official who's endorsed in this race, including Congressman Doggett. And this is a time when you really can bring your endorsements to the job with you. I would look to Congressman Doggett to work with him to make sure that there are proper regulations in place relating to fracking, and especially as it relates to fracking that is encroaching on Travis County. I would work with our Texas legislature, people like Kirk Watson and Eddie Rodriguez and Donna Dukes, who have also endorsed me in this race, to make sure that we have protections for groundwater and relating to fracking here in Travis County. Consensus building does matter. If we want to get things done at Travis County, we need somebody in there who can bring people together, like Congressman Doggett, Senator Watson, Eddie Rodriguez, in order to get real solutions here in Travis County.
Okay. And Sarah, do you want the question again, or are you ready to go on that one?
No, I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Fracking to the east of us threatens our collective water supply in the Carrizo-Wilcox. The 10-county region under the Capital Area Council of Governments includes both the eastern wet counties and the western dry counties. All 10 of these counties are working on this issue because we are quite literally terrified. By having a 10-county regional water plan, where we collectively come together to say how much water we have and how much development and what kind of development that can sustain, we will also come together as a 10-county region and say you cannot frack over this incredibly important water supply for our entire region. And by doing that, all 10 counties, both urban, suburban, and rural, can come together and be a very, very powerful voice, both at the TCEQ as well as in litigation. And I think that that is definitely where we need to go.
Okay, thank you. The next question is provided by Design Build Live, and it's on the topic of recycling, composting, and gray water use. Give a specific example of a creative measure you would support to encourage rainwater harvesting, recycling, composting, or gray water use. Sarah?
Our biggest tool with regard to that, since we aren't a water provider and Purple Pipe doesn't go out into the county, it's confined within the city limits. So that's really not an option for us. But we can encourage water providers outside the city limits and also residential housing developers outside the city limits by giving them advantages in the permitting process if they do include Purple Pipe in their water systems, if they do include composting, and particularly communal composting, because that's majorly beneficial, and also including rainwater harvest as a backup water supply. And we have done that, actually. We had one subdivision, small level subdivision, there were 5 houses, came to us and they were going to have to deepen a well. And we suggested to them rainwater capture may be a better option. And they did that, and we approved the plat on a fast track, therefore.
Okay. Andy?
Thanks. Just because something isn't so today doesn't mean that we can't work together and make it happen and make the use of Purple Pipe programs more of an option in our region, and to try things that are outside of the box, try new things, because currently the way we're approaching problems, especially water conservation in Travis County right now, it's not working. We need to try some new ideas. One thing that I think we can try to do is get out of the way of people who want to use gray water in any way in the county. I think that we could also incentivize rainwater collection systems within the county if we wanted to. There are things very much within the power of the county that we can do to encourage people to have more environmentally more sustainable practices, and I think that we need to step up and do it the way that Denver and San Antonio have done so.
Okay, thank you. The next question we will start with Andy on, and this one is been provided by Climate Change Now Initiative, and it's regarding drought. It's clear that our area is facing a drier future with more extreme weather events. As a Travis County judge, how will you lead the county in addressing the impact
of the drought?
Of drought.
Great. Well, conservation is the key. I think that we need to triple our efforts for conservation here in Travis County. There's no reason why we can't adopt a similar program to what Denver did in making a voluntary reduction in the way that people use water. Getting people okay with the fact that we're going to drive around in some dirty cars because we're not washing them all the time. Getting people okay with the fact that our lawns are not going to be green St. Augustine grass, that we're going to have cactuses, and we're going to have dirt, we're going to have xeriscaping in our yards. There are a lot of voluntary things that we can do, a lot of voluntary things that people can do to reduce the use of water. And I think before we start spending millions or billions on infrastructure relating to water, first, we need to do what we haven't done yet, and that is to conserve water here in Travis County. We also need to work to try to change the rule of capture at the legislature. That's a longer-term plan I think is going to involve first electing Wendy Davis in a Democratic House and Senate, but I'm willing to work on that.
Okay, thank you. And Sarah?
Drought is a slow-moving catastrophe. We're growing more arid. Conservation will not be enough. We need something much bigger and much more daring. We won't get conservation. We won't get the kind of sea change, frankly, in behavior across the county without having some measure of public control over the distribution of water in Travis County. Conservation will not be enough. Travis County and the surrounding counties are going to have to do something they've never done before, which is to step boldly into the water provider business so that the private sector doesn't seize control of the water distribution in Central Texas. That's frightening, but we must do it. City of Austin can't do it alone. It covers only half of the territory in Travis County.
Okay, thank you. The next question, actually the last question of the evening, besides our closing statements, we will start with Sarah on this one, and this one is provided by Texas Green Network on sustainable procurement. What initiatives do or would you support to ensure procurement of sustainable products and services at Travis County?
Oh, that we've started working on that already. Our purchasing department, we changed up the rules and created a policy at Travis County for no sweatshop purchases. And we are working through our purchasing policies to add additional things into our purchasing for sustainability. We have a new sustainability officer at Travis County to look at every kind of measure that we can possibly use in terms of purchasing vehicles, purchasing clothing, purchasing food. The Sheriff's Department has a CSA out on the Sheriff's property by the Del Valley Jail facility, so we're growing vegetables out there. But there's always room for additional improvement. There are 48 separate elected officials in Travis County, so under the Travis County budget. And so we are working through the budget and the purchasing opportunities to get that going.
Okay, and Andy?
In purchasing in particular?
What initiatives do or would you support to ensure procurement of sustainable products and services at Travis County?
Well, first, I'd make sure that when we buy paper at Travis County, we have a recycled content in that paper. I was shocked to see something from the purchasing department ordering reams and reams of paper, and there was no requirement that it be recycled or have any recycled content. I think that's a problem. I think another thing to do is, again, think outside the box. What is Plenty Fisk's place called, Reed?
The Center for Maximum Potential?
Yeah.
Building Systems.
Yes.
It's a mouthful.
Absolutely. They have some great ideas there about using alternatives to what we traditionally think of using in building materials. I think that we need to look at that. We need to look at more sustainable solutions in our purchasing at Travis County. There are ideas out there. There are a lot of really great ideas out there. The problem is they're new ideas. It's not the same old thing we've been doing for 20 years at Travis County, and I think it's time for a fresh voice to look at some of these new ideas. Thanks.
Okay, and so now we're going to provide you with a 2-minute opportunity to closing statement, but also if you have anything that maybe you want to catch up on that you didn't get a chance to address in the questions, but we'll start with Andy, and go ahead with your closing statement.
Thanks. Thank you all so much for coming tonight. I really appreciate your time, and thanks if you're listening to us later, I guess, for listening to us. I think the thing to ask yourself in this race is, what do we need? Who do we need running Travis County? What kind of leader do we need? Because it is a leadership position. I think we need somebody who can bring people together, who can build consensus to get lasting change at Travis County. You've heard a lot of great ideas tonight from both me and my opponent. I think you have to ask yourself, why is it that we don't already have a 10-county water plan? Why is it that we don't use purple pipes more? Why don't we have single stream recycling available across the county? Why don't we even have low flow aerators in all of the city faucets? I think it is time for fresh ideas, for new approaches at Travis County. And I want to work on those. Some of those things include getting new efforts to conserve water here in Travis County. looking at what worked in San Antonio, looking at what worked in Denver, and adopting those here. Having a PR campaign, for example, to get people to use less water in Travis County. It has worked in Denver. There's no reason why it can't work here. Another thing, it's not completely environmental, but I think it's a good example of what we need to look at Travis County government. There's something called a sobriety center that people have used have in San Antonio and in Houston. It's not a new idea. It's not something I came up with, something we've looked at since the year 2000 here in Travis County. But the basic idea is that it would help provide better behavioral and mental health care up front. It would reduce county and city expenses on police and jailing and ER usage. And it is something that has been in practice that we know about, and we just haven't adopted it yet here. The basic idea is that instead of the police officer or a sheriff's officer arresting somebody for public intoxication, they could take them to the sobriety center, drop them off, and the police could go back on the street and patrol, and the person gets a safe place to sober up and then is steered towards treatment options the next day. Thank you very much. My name's Andy Brown. I sure would appreciate your support in the Democratic primary.
Okay, thank you. And Sarah.
My job as a government official, when I was a government official, and as a public servant, is to level the playing field and to pay it forward. Government must level the playing field and pay it forward, because without that, wealth and opportunity has a tendency to circulate in a very small circle. And resources have a tendency to be overused, abused for profit today, without regard to whether those resources will still be around tomorrow. That's what the county judge's role is all about, is looking out for the little guy and making sure that the playing field is leveled up, and that we are paying it forward, and that future generations will have at least as good of an environment as we have today. That's the reason why I have worked so hard to pass the toughest groundwater regulations we've ever had, to bring forward a land, water, and transportation plan, which the county has never had before, because previously we thought, since we don't have the zoning authority, why even plan? That has changed. We've had a sea change in the way the county is viewing itself. We are no longer the county that just does jails, courts, and roads. We are now the county that is stepping into the shoes of a state that no longer governs. We are now the county that has stepped into the role of leveling the playing field and paying it forward. It's a brave new world, but we're ready for it, with a leader who has already demonstrated the experience and the courage and the commitment for that kind of work. Thanks.
Okay, well, thank you, Andy Brown and Sarah Eckhardt, our Travis County Judge candidates, for participating in this environmental and sustainability forum. I'd also like to thank our supporting organizations, Austin EcoNetwork, Seed Coalition, and Save Barton Creek Association, as well as Texas Green Network, the producer of this event, and also the environmental organizations that contributed all the questions tonight. And also thank you to the Vortex Theater and Butterfly Bar. What a wonderful theater it's been for this format. And I'd also like to mention on their behalf that the Vortex is currently having a fundraiser to be able to put in a new lighting grid. They are a nonprofit organization, and they are asking if anyone is interested in contributing to go to www.vortexrep.org before Valentine's Day. So they appreciate your support on that. Thanks again to Vortex Theater and the Butterfly Bar. And good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us.